Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today as we're here to talk about the virtual opportunities and experiences that we offer through API or Academic Programs International. My name is Jason Koba, and I'm an Associate Vice President for University Partnerships at API. I've been here for just over 5 years, and I'm really excited to have the opportunity to speak with you today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Nagel. I'm a Regional Director for University Relations and Outreach at API. Also been here for just over 5 years, but based in New England. We can't wait to give you a better idea of all the different online opportunities you have to still make a global connection right now.
So as we mentioned, we're going to talk about our virtual programs. That's why we're here. But we do want to acknowledge that these are not necessarily the same as traveling abroad. However, we do really think that they have a really great place for everyone and that they offer a really unique and really exciting learning experience and are, as Emily mentioned, to bring you a global experience, but from the comfort of your own home or anywhere in the world, really. So before we get started, I do just want to give you a little bit of background information about API as an organization. We were founded more than 20 years ago by the 4 women you see here, or whom we call our founding mothers. And the entire purpose behind API was to be able to offer programming that inspires learning and enriches the lives of the students, the universities, and the communities in which they take place. So I thought rather than me talk a little bit, I'm going to let one of my colleagues and one of our founding mothers, Julie Lightman, share just a little bit more about where API comes from and the philosophy behind how we design programming.
At API, my co-founders and I refer to ourselves as the founding mothers. And this is for a good reason. We wanted to create programs we would want our own children to go on. We keep this perspective present during all phases of development of our programming, from picking safe locations and choosing caring and compassionate resident directors to keeping our costs as low as possible while trying to include as many educational and cultural activities for our students to create a full experience.
So while the initial philosophy behind programming talked about safe locations, and obviously we're not traveling anywhere, so much of the philosophy behind the way we design programs is still present. So combining as much as we can for an inclusive cost and including as many different activities as possible. And you also get to interact with those amazing resident directors that we've selected in our location. So the philosophy behind how our programming exists and who we are as an organization is still present even in a virtual space. So as we get started, we're going to talk about a variety of different programs here. So I just wanted to kind of show you this as an overall view of the different options and different models of programming that we have. Emily and I will go into each one of these in a little bit more detail, but you'll see that we do have quite a few different options. So our hope is that we have a program that will fit with your needs, and you'll see that you'll be able to be really flexible with the way these programs run. So hopefully you can create an experience that's perfect for you. So we do want to talk again about the fact that we're going to be talking about our virtual experiences, but we do offer our traditional on-site programs as well. And we hope that maybe you'll consider doing both a virtual program and an on-site program in the future once mobility has been restored and we're able to travel safely and freely around the world again. So we'll talk a little bit about how that might work, especially with regard to scholarships at the end, but we just want to make sure we mention that and touch upon that briefly. So before we get into the nitty gritty of all the different programs, I do just want to mention what our API, or mention API Connect. So API Connect is our virtual learning space, but more so than that, it's really a global community. It's a location where you, as a virtual participant in any of our programs, will be able to go to complete a variety of different tasks and to engage with people in a variety of different ways. This is a great location for you to chat with other people on your program. You're not obviously able to hang out with them after class, but maybe you have a question or you want to talk about something that you learned during the day. This is a great location to be able to do that. It's also a place for you to attend different cultural events, which Emily's going to talk about in just a minute. And again, it's a great place to talk with our local experts and cultural guides and our global guides. So our resident directors will still be there for you, just not physically, but they're still going to be there for you in a virtual space. And so this is a great opportunity for you to ask questions, have them help you if you don't understand something or just want to chat about something. It's a great, great location for those sorts of things to take place. One really nice aspect about it is that you can do this anytime you want. So you don't have to worry about a schedule. A lot of the events that we'll talk about are going to be recorded events. So there may be live events that you need to be present for, but otherwise there's a lot of things in this platform that you can do at your convenience. So if you're up at 2 a.m. and can't sleep and want to learn how to do something, there's some really cool cultural events for you to take part in. We're also going to talk about digital badges in a little bit, and this is a really great opportunity for you to showcase the things that you're doing, whether it be an internship or a study program or one of our lab component or lab experiences. and it will really help set you apart in a competitive job market. So Emily's going to talk a little bit more detail about those, but the API Connect platform is where you will complete tasks to earn those digital badges and to be able to display those badges in a really effective way.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. So something that's really important to the API virtual programs are the cultural events. We really want this to still feel like a global experience, even though you may not be traveling abroad for this. So you can do things like Jason said, both live and on your own time. We have a lot of different cultural options for you to make sure you're still feeling engaged with an international experience. So you can do things like a graffiti tour through the streets of Chile, or an international movie night. You can learn how to cook anything from tiramisu to Spanish tortilla. You can go to dance lessons, trivia nights. There's all kinds of things for a variety of different interests that you may have, that you can still really build a global connection and build cross-cultural collaboration skills as well during an API virtual program. So on the screen here, you can see one of our Italian resident directors is giving a demonstration on the language of Italian hand gestures, which, as someone who's studied abroad in Italy, this is so relevant and so true. It's a big part of the culture. And we also have a short video from a virtual intern alum, Nicole Gao, who was an intern with us over summer 2020, and she has some thoughts on the cultural events as well.
Even though you're not there in person and you feel like you won't get the full experience, there are cultural events weekly that are in place, and you will get to make pasta, like you can go see the Eiffel Tower, like you can explore other countries even though you're located in like a certain one. So for me, it was in Spain, but I was still making pasta, exploring the Eiffel Tower, and doing all of the virtual events that was in other countries.
So something else that Nicole is highlighting is that even though she was doing a virtual internship for a Spanish organization, she was still able to experience the culture of other API locations as well. So she got a really well-rounded global experience through this virtual program.
Even though you're not there in person and you feel like you won't get.
So next we wanted to talk a little bit about the API digital badges. I think this is especially relevant in this virtual setting so that you can really get a tangible benefit out of the program, something that you can use in a professional setting and speak to in job interviews and things like that. So if you haven't heard of a digital badge before, it's a micro credential that you'll earn by working on different activities that have been built to enhance your learning and develop specific skills. So we use the framework of the NACE skills at API, that's the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So these are skills that employers have identified as being desirable in prospective employees. So these are things that they really value and they're looking for. So if you're able to talk about how you built these specific skills, it will definitely help set you apart and prove how you would be successful as an employee in their organization. So for example, if you were to do a virtual internship placement with API, you would have the opportunity to work on our Global Workplace Communication Badge. So in this setting, you would be thinking about skills like communication, time management, cross-cultural collaboration, leadership, and so on. And to help develop and build those skills, you'll work on different activities and engage in a wide variety of media to do so with feedback from our global staff. You'll do things like develop a personal leadership mission statement, improve your diversity IQ, and much more. So one of the coolest things I think about the digital badge program is that you can use this and put it on your LinkedIn so that you can show future employers how employable you are and what you actually got out of your global virtual experience. So you can post the digital badge under licenses and certifications on your LinkedIn portfolio, and an employer can click on this and see exactly what you did to earn this badge, when it was issued to you. They can even click on a syllabus to see a full description of the badge and exactly what the the criteria were, the different things that you did, what you focused on learning throughout the process of earning the badge. And this is just a great way to show exactly what you did and have these things that you can speak to, like skills that you've earned that you can actually click on LinkedIn, like you can see on the screen here, that bring you to a job database that shows jobs that are seeking employees who've built those specific skills. So it's a great way to really differentiate yourself.
Cool, thanks, Emily. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the actual individual programs that we offer and go into a little bit more detail about each of these. The first one I want to talk about is our API Global Select program. The Global Select program is perhaps one of our most flexible options, and it gives you the opportunity to really build your own term and build your own semester, summer, whatever the case is. What we've done is partner with multiple institutions from around the world, and they offer a variety of courses that our API students can select from. But what's cool about it is that you can build your own semester and you don't have to choose just one university if you don't want to. You can pick courses from up to 3 different institutions. So you might be taking a class from one of our partners in Australia, someone from Croatia, and someone from Costa Rica, all at the same time. It really allows you to diversify your schedule and give you a truly global experience. You can take as few as 1 classes and go all the way up to 6 different courses if you want. So you could just add 1 class to your online courses that you're taking here in the US or into your in-person semester, and just add that global element into your education that you're doing here. You also have the opportunity to engage through the API Connect platform quite a bit. So you have access to all those different cultural events and activities that we talked about. And it's a great way to really bring the international aspect to you here. You'll earn the API Global Agility Badge as well. And you even have the opportunity, as with all of our virtual programs, to participate in an optional in-person experience in March of 2021, assuming, of course, that we're able to travel safely. But it's a great opportunity for you to still have that actual travel experience if you choose to do so. The Global Select program offers more than 2,500 different courses, so you have a great plethora of courses to choose from to really engage in a lot of different areas. We understand that that's kind of overwhelming as well. So what we've done is designed some pre-tracks, or pre-designed some tracks for you to help narrow things down just a bit. So we've designed these 7 different tracks to give you some ideas of the different courses that may be available through our partner institutions. They're not comprehensive lists, but they're some of the more popular courses or some that our students have looked at in the past that are specifically related to areas to, again, put you in the right path and give you some general direction. So things like global health, sustainability, natural sciences, things like that. This, again, is just a way to get you started. And you can also look at the course catalog for each of our different partner institutions to see what classes they have to offer.
Okay, so next we wanted to talk about our labs. We have an innovation lab and a community engagement lab, which I'll talk about in a second. I think these are 2 of my favorite virtual programs that we offer because they're so engaging and they're so unique. So within the innovation lab, you'll have the opportunity to work in a small team with 4 to 6 peers. You'll come together from different academic backgrounds, but under a shared passion for one of the UN global goals. So throughout the 10-week program, you'll work together with guidance from industry mentors, cultural coaches, and lab facilitators to come up with a creative business solution to a global challenge. At the end of this experience, you'll have the opportunity to share a pitch for your creative solution in a global innovation pitch competition where you can really show off the work that you've done. And next, under a similar structure, again, small team-based learning with a group of 4 to 6. In our community engagement lab, you're instead looking at how to build an action plan for community engagement to support a community-based organization locally, but with a global perspective. So again, you'll have support from our cultural coaches and field experts. You'll work together to build this global to local advocacy action plan. So it's a really cool opportunity to work with different people from different backgrounds and just get to know other learners. You're not just sitting there and listening to lectures, you really have an active role in this program.
The last opportunity we want to talk about is our virtual global internship program. So just as our regular internships are sourced for individual students based on their particular needs and desires, that's also the case with our virtual global internships as well. What we do is we have a conversation with you and look at your skills, your resume, cover letter, transcripts, and then have an advising session with our internship program manager, Laura, who will then work with our resident directors and staff around the world to find you that particular placement. The internships are available through a wide range of different academic areas as well as globally, but the location isn't necessarily as important as it is as with an on-site program as it is what it is you want to do. So it's a really great opportunity for us to source a really cool internship for you in a virtual space. Throughout the process, you'll have support from API staff, both here in the US, as well as our resident directors or cultural coaches or cultural guides that we have on site. And then also your internship supervisors, who will be people that work in the organizations that you're placed in. Again, you have access to that API Connect virtual workspace. So again, those cultural activities are there to help make the most of the experience and really engage beyond what it is that you're doing. And you'll also hopefully build a great community with people in your work environment too. So there's a lot of different benefits of having this internship experience in that way. We'll provide you with a variety of different orientation materials and resources to help you think about things even before you start your program, thinking about what it is that you want to work on. What are some of the skills that you identify as being the ones that you want to focus on? Goal setting, things of that nature. So there's a lot of pre-departure or pre-session materials that go into the program to help you really start thinking about it to make the most of your experience. And again, you'll earn this digital badge, which is a great opportunity for you to showcase the skills that you've learned as part of the program. So we're going to hear from Nicole again, just a little bit about her experience. Because again, she did an internship with us this past summer in a virtual space.
So the benefits that you have doing an internship through API program is that they will customize it to what you want to achieve. If you want to do something business, they will only find you something in business. They will not find you an internship that has nothing to do with what you want to achieve later on in the future, especially if you want to come back with those skill set and find another internship with it or a job with it.
So as Nicole said, we really do try to focus on the placement to make sure that it's going to be beneficial to you and relevant to your future career goals. So being an intern, whether a virtual space, is a great opportunity for you to build up your resume and an opportunity for you to potentially earn credit if you choose to do so. We don't automatically include credit, but it's an option if you want. Some students choose to do it and others don't. So we do have the option for you to earn academic credit through our US School of Record. Another nice thing about our virtual internships is that we offer them as a full-time experience or a part-time experience. So it's a great way for you to combine an internship experience maybe with your on-campus classes or some virtual courses that you're taking or one of our other virtual experiences. So lots of different opportunities for you to engage in this experience, whether it be a standalone program or something that you're doing alongside something else. Emily mentioned the NACE skills curriculum previously, and so we want to touch upon that again because the internships are really sourced in a way that focuses on those skills to make them as relevant for you as possible to benefit you as you go out into the workplace and try to find employment after graduation. Again, we touch on that they can be done in combination with any of our other programs. And they're, again, a really great way for you to internationalize your experience in a really, really unique way. So one more quick little note from Nicole here. We're going to hear a little bit about her placement and just experience about what it was that she did and what she thought about her placement.
That I got to work with the marketing department and I got really some insider and hands-on projects. Like you will actually be doing something that will impact that company, like doing data research, searching the marketplace, and you actually do research for other countries. So I was able to personally learn a lot from it. It's not something I did in a classroom before. Like you're actually working with real numbers, real companies, in real market.
I like that speech that she talks about because it really does talk about how she was able to engage with a lot of different organizations and really bring a global perspective into her internship experience. The last program we want to talk about really quickly are our HPI short-term virtual language programs. So these are great opportunities for you to either enhance your language learning, maybe get ready for a future program, or just start out with some skills and start building some language if you've always had the desire to maybe learn some Spanish or French, but never really had the chance. So the first program we offer is through our program in Salamanca, Spain. You have the option of earning either 3 or 6 credits. And this can be done in either 2-week intensive sessions or month-long online versions. So you really have the opportunity to build your own schedule and do this when it works best for you. And as with all of our programs, they're open to any level speaker. So you don't need to be proficient already. You can be starting out as a true beginner, or it can be a really cool way for you to enhance your skills or really brush up on those skills a little bit too. Another option we have in Costa Rica at our Veritas University program, again, same format, and this one is a 4-credit option, open to all speakers, and it's available in a month-long intensive virtual session. And then for those of you who are interested in learning some or improving upon your French skills, we have a program through our university partner in Grenoble, France. This is also a 4-credit program. It's a month long as well, and it's open to all levels of French speakers. As with all of our virtual programs, these are a great way for you to engage in those cultural events and activities through the API Connect platform. So in addition to the actual language learning that you'll be taking place in your classes, you'll have the opportunity to engage in cultural activities and events virtually to enhance that learning experience for you. So I mentioned before that we have the opportunity for students to participate in possibly a future in-person program. And so one of the really, really great benefits from a financial perspective of participating in a virtual program is that you have the ability to automatically earn some scholarship money to help pay for your experience if you choose to do an in-person program in the future. So anyone who does any of our virtual programs, any of those that we've talked about today, will automatically receive a scholarship for a future in-person program of either $500 for a summer program or $3,000 for a future on-site semester program. So it's a great way and a great opportunity for you to earn some financing to help support your programming if you choose to go abroad in the future. We also have some additional information about finances and scholarships available on our website, so I would encourage you to check that out.
Okay, so we've thrown a lot at you, and I hope that it's been exciting to learn a little bit about all of the different virtual options. We wanted to give you some next steps if this is something you're interested in exploring more. So a couple different tools on the API website that you can use to help narrow down through these different virtual options and find the one that's right for you. So first we have a program finder, which you can actually sort by program type. So you can sort by virtual programs. You can also filter by session, so you could choose to look at programs that are offered during this spring semester or over the summer or whenever you'd like. We also have a class finder, which you can use to look for specific classes that you may need to take. So say you think that the Global Select program sounds really awesome, but you need help sorting through the 2,500 plus options that you have, you can use the class finder to look for classes within your field of study, or if you have something specific in mind that you really want to take in a virtual setting, you can find that as well. So once you have found the perfect program and you're ready to go ahead and apply, it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just on the API website. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen on the apiabroad.com page, you'll see a bright yellow box that says apply. And you'll click this. It's fairly straightforward. You'll need to send in things like a letter of recommendation, transcript. For the virtual internship program, you'll need also a resume and cover letter. But we'll definitely be there to support you throughout this process. If you have any questions, you can always utilize the chat function on the API website, or you'll have a dedicated API program manager who's there to help you throughout every step of the way as well. We also wanted to share some feedback from our first virtual program participants. So a lot of positive things to say, and some were maybe surprised this wasn't exactly the program that they had planned on. Like a lot of our interns over the summer had been planning to go on site, but then pivoted to do a virtual program, but ended up really enjoying it. So I won't read these all to you, but just a couple of highlights that I wanted to share. Really enjoyed the cooking videos, recipes to save and make at a later time, getting a little taste of the country even though you're not there. I think that's really cool. Also just that, you know, you're still meeting people, which you wouldn't necessarily expect to do in a virtual program, but I think that's a really cool benefit of the API Connect platform. And then finally, just talking about the digital badge program and how that helped to gain valuable skills to maybe use in the future in a professional setting.
So we hope that gives you an idea of the different types of experiences that we offer through API in a virtual space. We do hope that you'll find some of them and hopefully all of them very interesting, and that there might be an opportunity for you to engage with us in one of these different areas. So please feel free to reach out to us at any time. I've added some websites here for you to take a look. So our apiabroad.com/fairs is an opportunity for you to enter your information if you'd like to receive emails from us, join our mailing list and get updates. You can also just reach out to our general email at api@apiabroad.com and someone will get back to you shortly. Or if you're interested in speaking with an alum of one of our programs, you're welcome to visit this website, apiabroad.com/chat with an alumni, and we'll be happy to connect you with a student who participated in a virtual program or who just did an API experience if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that. But we'd like to thank you very much for your attention today, and we really appreciate your time. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.